Alright, well hey everybody, it's GrimmGreen from GrimmGreen.com back here today. I apologize, it's early in the morning. I just got off work. In fact, I just got done with the gym. And the video you're about to watch is exactly 1 hour long. And I'm only making it longer right now. And it's about VapeBash, and I had such a great time there. And I feel like in this video, I didn't really even mention everybody that I wanted to. And, you know, there's so many people, and like this fella named Big was handing these out. Well, not handing these out. He was selling these. He handed one to me. Of course, it's green. It's a little rebuildable station. So Big, I didn't mention you in this video. I'm mentioning you now. Thank you so much. But there's so many people like Erica from Local Vape. Erica and Elena. Is that her name? From Local Vape and Buckshot Vapors. Disneyland's, it was so great to meet you. I want to go to Disneyland with you. Gosh, so bad. But people like Drew and Cisco and Lou and Violet from Honest Vapor. And there's so many people that I didn't mention. And it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I ran out of time. I mean, nobody wants to watch a 2-hour-long GrimmGreen video. That is ridiculous. I don't even want to watch a 2-hour-long GrimmGreen video. And so a lot of stuff got leaked out, like this. Look at this. He gave me his army patch. I'm assuming it's from his uniform. And he signed it, and it says EW, and that's when he quit. June 2013. And he gave this to me, and it's going to be proudly displayed up here, probably in between Sean's legs. Right there. So many people. Vapor Joe. I finally met Vapor Joe. The guy is a giant. He's like the Hulk with a hoodie on. So many people. But I got to what I got to, and I tried to keep it under an hour, and now it's 1 hour and 2 minutes because of this silly intro that I felt like I needed to add. I don't know why. But yeah, so there's a lot of people that you didn't get left out on purpose. I love you again if you took the time to meet me, or to meet me, to talk to me. I'm rambling. On with the show. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Yes. Well, hello and welcome and hello. Today is Thursday, which means it's vlog day here at GrimmGreen Industries. Look at me. I got a proper pop filter right here, and I'm hoping it works good. I've got it rigged to the old oh, that rotates too. Okay, well, I'm just gonna kind of leave it where it is, I guess. Hope it sounds good. Hope it sounds, clear and not too poppy when I say things like with an S. Like if I say VapeBash, or I'm proof, testing, pop filter, proof, VapeBash. Yes, so once again, thank you everybody for joining me again in the Vape Lair for another video vlog, or what's in the news, Robin, if you're on SoundCloud. I'm not going to have very many segment notes in this, in that the whole thing is basically going to be talking about VapeBash. I want to talk about my experience, the people I got to talk to, the whole event as a whole. It was it was nuts. I mean, it was chaos, and I was telling that to everybody that I talked to. I'm like, well, this is just chaos. Enjoy the chaos, because it was crazy. There was a little bit of hotel drama going on there as well, but it was off the charts. There was thousands of people there. I didn't get an exact number. Pardon me, Robin. You know how many people were there, don't you, Robin? But I did hear that in the first day they broke the record for the entire previous VapeBash's entire attendance within the first day. So that's something kind of to go by of how big this was. And it kind of made me realize, I kind of want VaporCon West to be smaller. You know what I mean? The big vape meets are fun. They are just fun. And I kind of want VaporCon West to be a little smaller, maybe a little more personal, a little less chaotic. One thing that is not going to happen at VaporCon West, at least I don't think so. I haven't discussed this with Brandon, my planning partner. The overly loud music that happens inside vape meets is stupid. God, I hate it. And we had a table that was pretty damn close to where they were blasting music, and I was just yelling the whole time. In fact, Greer, who was there helping us represent Namberjuice, she lost her voice, completely lost her voice from shouting at people. I mean, a foot in front of your face, you're literally yelling at the top of your lungs at somebody. And I want to avoid that whole thing. I don't have any music, okay? There's been a lot of people sending me stuff and bands and things. And yes, I've been looking at your emails. Yes, I've been reading them. Right now I have, a bunch of emails to get caught up on. I mean, hundreds of emails to get caught up on, this, that, and the other. And people have been sending me bands. And I met some people at VapeBash who also recommended me some bands. And I just got home yesterday and haven't had enough time to look at it. In fact, it's funny because on the last night of VapeBash, I was talking to people. I don't even remember who was there. And I was saying, yeah, on Monday, I'm going to try to sit down and shoot some video. And this was Saturday night, well after midnight. It was like into 3 a.m. on Sunday. And a guy turns to me and he's like, so technically you realize that's tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, God, that sucks. So yeah, it was, it's cool. I'm here now. VapeBash was great. Let's start off with a beer. Do you want to know what music I listen to when I answer emails? I have one of two things that I listen to when I'm sitting here working either in Photoshop or answering emails, doing stuff for GrimmGreen, doing stuff for Namber. I'll either listen to the Star Trek sounds of the bridge, which I know. It's either the Star Trek bridge sounds. I thought I had this video bookmarked. Yes, this one. It's ambiance. It's it just makes me feel like I'm in some sort of futuristic wonder world. Or I open Pandora and I listen to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart radio. And it just, I find it just relaxing. I feel like I'm some sort of like a prodigy, like I'm in a music montage and classical music is playing, and I'm like writing my dissertation or something like that. Anyway, really like it. That's what I've been listening to. Didn't listen to any music or anything on the plane. I just slept the whole way there practically, and I slept a bunch of the way back. And on the way back, I was really excited because not only did I watch The Breakfast Club on the plane, but I also watched Star Wars A New Hope on the plane, which I hadn't seen in a couple years. Still amazing. Still an amazing movie. Forget the prequels, just watch the original Holy Trilogy. I do have a beer, though. This is a beer that came from Tony, and I actually haven't even had a chance to Google it yet. Pardon me. Burp Life, Robin. It's called Labyrinth Beer. Labyrinth Black Ale. This is exactly what it is. It is from the Uinta Brewing Company, UINTA Brewing Company. It's brewed in Utah. Tony from Utah sent me some, and I did have a layover in Utah on the way home, and I did get some more Polygamy Porter in my belly as we were waiting for our layover, which was fantastic. But this is an American Double Imperial Stout. It's very nice. It's very rich. I mean, it pours just jet black, like this person is saying, pours pours like motor oil, jet black with an impressive dark tan head. It is really good. When you taste it, let me click off this page. I don't want to be swayed by anybody else's taste judgments. But when I taste it, I get a pretty strong alcohol flavor, kind of like bourbon. There's maybe like a little sweetness to it, and I actually get like a savoriness to it. It kind of has like a green olive, like afternote, like a savory green olive to it. Quite good. Quite good, quite strong, but that upfront like bourbon booze alcohol is kind of at the forefront. You get a little sweetness, and then you get a little bit of that savoriness on the back end. So thank you, Tony. Here's to you. Everybody try some, what's it called? Labyrinth. It's called Labyrinth Black Ale. And it's good. And it's good. So let's talk about VapeBash. VapeBash? Let's talk about VapeBash. Let's talk about VapeBash. I do have some vlog notes here just to remind me the things to talk about. Yeah, so Amber and I, with our Chihuahua Gypsy, we flew out to Chicago. We flew out to VapeBash. We got there late Thursday in the evening. It wasn't really that late. It was right around dinner time, I guess. It was about 6 or 7 o'clock. Got to the hotel. Got through a big group of people, got to the front desk, checked in, got up to our room, and we kind of just took a breath, relaxed a little bit. And I always get like this before big vape meets. I'm sitting up in the room and I'm like, Jam, I'm really anxious. Like, I'm really nervous to go downstairs. And that fades pretty quickly. I mean, as soon as I get, talking to people and involved in the meet. But when we first arrive and I'm first sitting upstairs in our room, I'm like playing with Gypsy, and I'm sitting on the couch, or I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm like getting my vape stuff, and I'm like pacing around, and I just feel very anxious and very nervous. Like, I don't really want to go downstairs. Like, and I don't know why that is. I'm not like a germaphobe, and I don't get panicky in big groups. It's all, I enjoy that, but for some reason that initial getting downstairs after we arrive is always it's always very nerve-wracking for me, and I'm not exactly sure why. But it was great. We eventually did go downstairs because we were hungry. We were going to get some dinner. Literally, we walked out of the elevator way and went around the corner and into the restaurant. And the first person that I see that calmed me down, that made me relax so hard, was Ruby Root and her husband. They were right there, and I just went over to them. I'm like, I want to talk to you so bad. And it was great. And instantly, as soon as, everybody got excited, and Ruby Roo was excited, and we ended up all kind of having dinner together, that really settled my nerves and really calmed me down a lot, which was, I was nervous. I was nervous to get down there, and that, like I said, that happens every time, but I don't know why, it just happens. So yeah, we had dinner that first night. The Thursday night is always like, the Thursday night before a big vape meet is always like the hardcore night. You know what I mean? It's the night where everybody who wants to get there early gets there early. So you get to have a little bit of downtime. I'm going to sneeze. It's going to happen. You get to have a little bit of downtime and talk to some different people. I actually got to have a conversation with Mr. Phil Basardo. We're always struggling to try to talk to each other at vape meets, and not to sound like some big celebrity fucking guy, but Phil's always busy. I'm usually really busy, and we never get time to break away and talk. And so on Thursday night, we actually got some time to talk and discuss some things, which was great for me. And there's people that you see there every year, like Drew from Inhaler, like Cisco. You know what I mean? There's all these people that you've seen year after year, and Thursday night is the night that you kind of get to connect with those people. Ended up drinking pretty heavily the whole weekend, but more specifically on Thursday night. And so Amber and I get up in the morning. Amber never drinks. She just doesn't ever drink. And Thursday night, she gave into a little bit of peer pressure and had 4 whole cocktails. They were martinis, and she didn't know, evidently, that martinis were 100% alcohol. And so she got pretty loopy pretty quickly and spent most of the morning on Friday recovering from that. I don't think she actually made it down to the meet till... oh, geez, it was well after 3 o'clock before she finally appeared. But that's okay, because we were there, Namber was there, and thankfully at the Namberjuice table, we had an awesome crew of just the greatest people on earth. If you had a good experience at the Namberjuice table, it was because of these people. They worked so hard all weekend. I could not have been more thankful to have such a great crew at the Namberjuice table. I love all of them so much, and I'm going to try not to do very specific shout outs with the exception of a few people, but Joe, Hannah, awesome, Nikki, Brittany, Morgan, Albin, Tyler, Greg, and Greer. All of you, I love you all to death. And again, if you had a good experience at the Namber table, it's because of them. It's because of their hard work, and it's because of their dedication to the cause. They love vaping, and they were supporting Namberjuice, and it was just wonderful. In fact, poor Nikki, and I felt so bad for her, and I don't know if she'll ever watch this, and I felt so bad for her at Bash because she was just sitting on the ground behind the table with her back to the crowd, just facing a wall of boxes, and she was just basically filling orders. Like, you could just lean down and be like, Cartometer Crush 6 milligram, Donut Pounder 6 milligram, and she'd go click, 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 and move some boxes around and get you your bottles and just hold them up, and you could grab them. And that was like all she did all weekend. She literally sat on the ground all weekend. So just fist bumps to Nikki and to the whole team. I mean, they were unbelievable. I love them all. And I'm gonna try not to gush too much. But the first day was just chaos. We walked in and we were setting up, and actually before the doors even open, that's when I get to like walk around the room and see other vendors, because I know as soon as those doors open and that room fills up, and that room does fill up. We got a little time-lapse shot of it, and it was craziness. Once that room gets full, I knew that I wasn't moving anywhere. We had Toot Life t-shirts that literally sold out within the first 45 minutes. And what I was hoping to do was to get everybody together who bought a Toot Life shirt and take a big picture, or at least take a picture with the people who bought the Toot Life shirts, because they sold out so fast. That didn't really happen. So the Toot Life t-shirts were quite popular, and yes, I will be doing some more very soon. In fact, I was telling people this at Bash, but I hope to have a very, very steady supply of Toot Life shirts, probably going to be on the Namberjuice site. I was selling them for $15 at the meet, and I don't see why that would change at all. So they're going to be $15 if and when, or I was selling them at $15 at the meet at VapeBash, so I don't see why that would change. They're going to be $15 when they're on the Namberjuice site, and that's just going to be the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. I've already promised a few people free t-shirts, just because I like to take care of my friends. And one of the things that's so great about these big meets is not only getting back together with the friends that you've already made, but making new friends. It's like, yeah, I get to see Flitzanu again, whom I love just into the ground. Yes, I get to see, John and Jessica again from 5280 Vapor. I just love them into the ground. I mean, but it's about making new friends as well, you know what I mean? And so within the community, there's a couple people that I would consider my friend, and that, I can tell that we're going to be friends, and if they ever come to a vape meet, it's just going to be like, hey, we're old friends, let's hug. So there's a couple people that I have promised free t-shirts to, but they're going to be $15 on the site. Not quite sure where I was going with that. So the first day was just chaos. It was a lot of talking to people, and if you came up and talked to me at VapeBash, just thank you so much. I had a wonderful time talking to and meeting everybody, and people get very excited and will start interrupting each other. And so if I was talking to you and we got interrupted somehow, I want to apologize for that, because when I'm talking to someone, if someone is going to take time out of their day to come over to me and shake my hand and say, hey, I really like your videos, or hey, I really hate your videos, then I'm going to give them my full attention. If we're talking, you have my attention, and I try not to get interrupted, but it just happens. Like, I remember there was one person on the second day I was talking to, like we were having a conversation, and then there's just this guy walks up and just puts his hand in the middle of us, and I'm like, okay, hey, yeah, hi, how are you? Yeah, we can take a picture. Just let me finish up this. So I try to give everybody my full attention. And once again, if you were one of those people that either took a picture with me, if you did do that, please tag me in it, because I would love to see them, or you took time out of your day at the meet to come say hi to me, then absolutely, I loved that. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. It was just, that was the highlight of VapeBash for me. And now that I'm, getting older and I've been in the community for long enough, the reason I get excited to go to vape meets is to talk to people. It is to meet people. It is to obviously support my company. I don't get as excited as, to walk around and see what's new and see what's there. And, I know Electronic Sticks was there, and they had a bunch of Zens to give away. And I know that they had a bunch of ZNAs to give away, and I know that Hannah was there, and they had a bunch of Hannah mods to give away, and that's all really cool and fun, but I don't get as excited about that as I do meeting people and making that human connection. And for those listening on SoundCloud, I'm bringing my fingers together from two sides of the room, that human connection. And speaking of that human connection, we did release 2 juices at VapeBash. In fact, we have, look at this sweet hoodie, Namberjuice. We had this whole thing where Amber was walking down the hallway. Jam?
I stopped so you hear me.
Here it comes, everybody. Here's Jam. Jam attack!
I would trust you to say I could come in without being on camera, but I know you're a big fat liar.
Just walk against the wall and come over here, and
let me see the whole screen.
I can't. I have my vlog notes up.
Need those right now.
Let me see the whole screen.
Yeah, I can see. Hold on. I can see it. Shit.
You can't. Come here. Look where my hand is. You don't have to crawl. She's literally crawling on her hands and knees to avoid. Okay, you're here. Hi, Jam.
What up?
We're talking about VapeBash.
Yeah, and by popular demand, I'm in this room.
So a lot of people came up to you and said that they like you being part of this program.
Yes, every single person in attendance. Also, they called their family and friends. So that's
what does that even mean?
That means 1 billion people.
1 million people came and talked. Oh, 1 billion people came and talked to you.
Well, they didn't all come talk to me.
That's not bad, considering there was only a little over 3,000 people at VapeBash.
I just said they called their family and friends.
Oh, they called their family and friends. Evidently, there was a petition going around to have more Jam on the show, more Jam attack. And everybody, the feedback that I got was that you don't even need to worry about your accent because it's so beautiful and wonderful.
They're full of shit. Rosette, and I got made fun of for Rosetta Stone.
Don't say that my subscribers are full of shit. Stop insulting my audience. I love them. They used to love you.
Come on. I love them more than they love you.
You love my subscribers more than they love me?
Right.
That's weird. How does that work together, design-wise?
Why are you tricking me?
What was your favorite part of VapeBash, honey?
Oh, man. Definitely.
It sounds like you had something there. You're like, oh, man, definitely.
Bash.
Lily and Marshall?
Lily and Marshall. I did love Lily and Marshall.
Do you even remember their real names?
Yes, Lily and Marshall.
So Amber just...
I liked Felipe.
She just names things and people whatever she wants. A good example of this, and I might have already told this story before, but there was a slot machine down in Las Vegas.
Come on.
It was called the Rockin' Olives slot machine. And it was those dumb painted olives that play guitar, you know, and they're like sitting in cars. You've seen these olives. Well, they made a slot machine for them, and it was a fun slot machine. We were playing it for hours at Bellagio. And so we go back to our hotel, Luxor, and Amber decides to change the name of that slot machine to something completely made up, and she started calling it Dancing Tacos. And so she walks over to some poor Luxor employee and says, "Y'all have dancing tacos here?" And he just looked at her like she had lobsters crawling out of her ears. He had no idea what she was talking about. And I said, by dancing tacos, she means the Rockin' Olives slot machine. And so she'll just name things, different things, and call people different things. And there was a very nice couple that was hanging out with Amber on the couch, and they had bought some Namberjuice previously. And the deal was at VapeBash, if you bought 3 bottles of Namberjuice, then you get a Namberjuice t-shirt for free, and they were wicked cool t-shirts. And if you bought 5 bottles of Namberjuice, then you get a sweet hoodie. So I had to buy 5 bottles of Namberjuice to get this wicked sweet hoodie right here. And he had bought juice, and he was wearing a Namberjuice t-shirt, and he was there with his lovely wife. And I don't even remember their names because Amber just kept calling them Lily and Marshall.
For the record,
from How I Met Your Mother.
For the record, it's not his lovely wife. They've been engaged for 4 years.
That's good. I'm sure they want that broadcasted. Well, they're engaged anyway. His lovely significant other, his lovely better half. I don't even remember their names because Amber insisted on calling them Lily and Marshall. And that's all I know them as. Which is, you know, she's going to do what she's going to do, and you can't stop her, so you might as well embrace it.
There was also a white Felipe.
There was also some guy who's probably had a different name, but Amber called him Felipe.
I think his name was Mark. What up, Mark?
What up, Mark? Is your name Mark or Felipe? We don't know, but you were very nice and you were sitting on the couch with us.
Anyway,
what was your favorite part of VapeBash?
My favorite part was definitely when #Josh is hot was eating the scorpion.
So, here's an even longer story. As I said before, we were hanging out. We met up with Ruby Roo and her husband Josh.
Oh my God, he is a dreamboat.
In the restaurant, and
can I interject?
What?
I just want to say to all the male subscribers that really want to get on that Ruby Roo train, good luck, because she has the dreamiest husband.
Yeah.
You don't stand a chance.
Yeah, nobody stands a chance.
Because he
is actually, he's very dreamy, isn't he?
Lord
I saw the first picture of him on Instagram, and I couldn't even focus. I was like, he's so dreamy.
I went on 3 dates with him at VapeBash.
So, yeah, Amber started a hashtag at VapeBash that's #JoshIsHot. And he ate a scorpion out of a lollipop. It was like a freeze-dried scorpion, and there's a video of it on Instagram, and he ate it. That's your favorite part of VapeBash, when he ate a scorpion?
Yeah.
That's such a random thing to like.
Well, Josh is hot. Also, my other favorite thing is my 3 dates I went on with Josh.
Yeah, Amber has a bit of a crush on Ruby Roo's husband.
And I don't stand a chance.
And she doesn't stand a chance
well,
either.
listen, she did let me take him on 3 dates.
Mm-hmm.
Even bought him a meal.
3 whole dates.
And, he wouldn't hold my hand. He was a gentleman.
Yeah, he wouldn't hold your hand because he was a gentleman.
But, Ruby Roo and Josh is hot were my favorite part of VapeBash. Because, Ruby Roo is my best friend.
Yeah, Ruby Roo is amazing. And Josh is dreamy.
And Josh, good God.
Josh. Good God. It was really great. And like I said, that whole human connection of seeing your old friends again and then making new friends. And Ruby Roo and her husband Josh are the kind of people that you wish lived closer to you.
They're going to come see us.
So that you could hang out more. You know what I mean? They're just fantastic. We're trying to start a new hashtag for Ruby Roo as well. That's
Ruby Crew.
Hashtag Ruby Crew. So start using that in your vaping pictures, Ruby Crew, because you're part of the Ruby Crew. I guess that's a thing too as well.
I think
also,
my own hashtag.
You don't you need your own hashtag?
Yeah, your subscribers need to comment their suggestion
Don't tell
for
them.
my hashtag.
Don't tell them what they need to do.
My hashtag will be released in the next video.
Hashtag Green Johnson.
No, hashtag Amber is a smoking hot babe.
Hashtag Miss Stone.
Oh man, never should have said anything.
Hashtag Amber is a babe. Hashtag Clown Arm.
Rude panties.
Hashtag Eagle Knee.
Hashtag rude panties.
Hashtag Rude Panties.
Hashtag Q
But
sisters.
no, we're not going to even talk about the Q sisters. There's so many inside jokes that happened at this Vape Bash. It was ridiculous. My favorite part of Vape Bash, like I was just talking about, was meeting people. It was basically nonstop of just talking, and you have your voice is hoarse at the end. And I was telling him about how poor Greer just straight up lost her voice.
That was also my favorite part. Not that she lost her voice, but hanging out with the Namber crew, because
Yeah.
we have the best crew of all the
I just praised them heavily, and I was telling him about poor Nikki, who just sat on the ground the whole weekend and just picked orders.
What a dang shame. You know what? She's too pretty to be under the table.
She's too... Nobody puts Nikki under the table.
Yeah! Nobody puts Nikki under the table.
Oh,
We should have
gosh.
had an ugly person back there. There weren't any ugly people to choose from. The ugly person should always be under the table.
No, they are allowed to work wherever they want, however they want.
But yeah, Nikki's too pretty to go under the table.
Nikki's too pretty to go under the table. I was just going to talk about the Mass Teller Mint. I was talking about the 2 new juices that we released at Vape Bash. One of them was called Mission to Mars, which is like a raspberry coffee mocha flavor. Quite delicious. And the other one that we released at Vape Bash is Namberjuice. What are you sad about?
I just remembered that my vibrator's broken.
That's not as bad as it sounds. We'll get to that right after we talk about the Mass Teller Mint.
Oh,
I
sweet.
promise. We'll get right to that.
Should I get it?
No, you don't even know where it is.
I do. It's in my purse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Where is it? Do you
You
have
didn't
it?
even keep track of it. We have a line. It's not even a separate line. It's just part of the Namberjuice. And Amber and I are really huge on, like I was saying, the human connection and connecting with people. And Amber's a very sentimental person, and I'm a very sentimental person. And when we make friends, we make,
Friends for life.
It's cheesy as it sounds. When we become friends with someone, we're friends with them on a very deep level, and that sounds creepy, but it's really not. And so within the Namberjuice line is we have this area called namesakes, where we have created juices for certain people. So we made pecan pie for her mom. We made Tom's Vanilla Peppermint for your dad. And we did Moots Juice for our good friend Mark Moots. Those are the 3 namesakes we have.
Don't we have more people that we love?
We have a lot of people that we love. We need to get on this namesakes thing.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
I think there's no more namesakes in the Namber line than those. Anyway, so we created another namesake for the Namberjuice line. It should be up on the site soon, within maybe give it about a week, but it should be up on the site soon. And we created a juice called Mass Teller Mint. And look at how punk rock this label is. There's gravestones. There's a zombie hand. The A is an anarchy symbol. Mass Teller Mint. And this comes from my good friend Chris Massteller, who I met at the very first Vape Bash. Me and Amber both met him at the very first Vape Bash.
Our good friend,
Chris Massteller, and we met him at the very first Vape Bash, and him and his friends were very, excited, borderline. Yeah, they came up and they were, very, very excited, like a lot of people are. And, again, not to be some celebrity, because that's fucking stupid. But they were very enthusiastic to meet me, and they kept coming back to the table, and we always just talked, and we talked about music, and it was great. And then over the last 3 years, we actually got to be really good friends with Chris Masteller, and Randy. So in secret, we kind of created this juice just for him. And at the last VapeBash in 2013, we were drinking pretty heavily, and me and Chris sat down at one of the tables, and he gave me this drunken idea for a juice where he was talking about how he's like, you should combine all the mints into one juice. And he starts listing them off. He's like, wintergreen and spearmint and regular mint and menthol, and make it sweet and all this stuff. And so I was like, that's actually a great idea for a juice. And so Masteller Mint was born, and it basically fits his perfect description. It's a very sweet wintergreen spearmint juice. There's a little bit of green apple undertones to round it out, but we created this for him. For Chris Masteller, it's the Masteller Mint. It's going to be on the site soon, and I think it's wicked good. I think it turned out great, and he was very excited about it. And we got some video of it that we'll probably put on a YouTube later on for Namberjuice, like a commercial or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that was probably my absolute highlight. Besides getting to hang out with the Ruby crew, also getting to see Chris again and surprise him with his new namesake juice within the Namberjuice line. He was very excited about that, and it was really hard keeping that a secret from him. But it was great, and it turned out really good. Turned out great. And Chris's friend Randy made a 510 attachment, and one might call it a personal massager.
I just call it a vibrator.
But basically, it's like this big green nubbin that you screw onto your 510 connection, and then when you press the fire button on your mod, it vibrates.
And it's variable voltage.
It does have a very high ohm rating, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I broke it twice before I even got to play with it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, so, okay, there's two last things.
Did you think Ed?
Ed? Oh, Ed the Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed the Green and his wife created a little hoodie for Gypsy. We took Gypsy there, and Gypsy got to meet a lot of people. And there are some pictures of Gypsy on the, on the Facebooks and on the interwebs from VapeBash and on her Instagram. But they made her a pink hoodie with the Namber logo on the back, and it says Staff Gypsy, and it's wonderful. It's fantastic, and she hates wearing that little hoodie, man. She doesn't really like wearing clothes, but we force our dog to wear clothes more than we should, probably.
She likes getting undressed.
She does. She does get undressed a lot. She just crawls out of her clothes because she hates it so much.
And she crawls out of her harness at the airport.
Yeah, she crawled out of her harness at the airport and just went running around like a crazy dog person. So yeah, I don't really want to talk about the drama that happened at the hotel. It was whatever. It was stupid. There was contracts that were like, oh, we can vape anywhere, and then they limited that to just the event room. And there were staff members kind of walking around in the hotel like stormtroopers, like reprimanding people for even just holding their mod outside of the event room. Not even using it, just holding it. Like, hey, you can't do that here. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm just holding it.
I found myself, up until about an hour ago today, stealth vaping in my living room.
Yeah. We got so acclimated to stealth vaping in the hotel that Amber was stealth vaping in the living room.
It was terrible.
And usually our living room, and especially my vape layer, and like the hallway to the living room is usually kind of like a vape meet. Like there's a haze of vapor sitting around. So foggy. Yeah. She walks in here, she's like, it's so foggy in here, duck. That happens. So drama aside, it was a really phenomenal meet.
I want to do a shout out.
Amber's going to do a quick shout out.
Shout out to my homegirl Autumn.
Homegirl Autumn. I don't know who Autumn is.
She is the most fabulous person, and she had the most fabulous Victoria's Secret pants, and she's awesome.
Shout out to Autumn. What up? So that's cool. Additionally, I do want to give a shout out to Megantron. Just one of the many people that I met, but we were out of Toot Life shirts, and she and her boyfriend, I don't know what the relationship was there. That could have been her brother for all I know. I don't want to be out of line here. They wrote hashtag Toot Life on their badges, on their little, because they ran out of badges. They had stickies, and so she gave it to me, and I kept it. It's here. It's not gonna. Can you see this, Megantron? That's it right here. Let me get it for you. I kept this. It says Megantron Toot Life.
And
that's for
Megantron. Trouble. Saw a little heart on a little thing.
Yeah.
Was like, who the hell is this, duck?
Amber got mad at me. So it's there. It's covering up Ace Frehley's crotch on my Kiss poster, and it will remain there until I change the poster. Maybe after that. Also, additionally, I don't know if this is showing up. Yes! I put the wood thing on the wall. Let me grab it.
That's so cool.
A fellow who goes by the name NB Vapes. He signed it on the back, NB Vapes. He did this. He burned this into wood, and it's not going to pick up the detail on it, but it's little dots. It's like all these little dots in here, and he did the Grim Army, and he did my face. Oh my god, I thought this was the coolest thing ever. I still do. It made it home safely, and now it's proudly going to hang on my wall back here in the yes. Now it's crooked. In the vape lair. In the vape lair. I'm very excited about that. So thank you, NB Vapes, for that. That was very, very moving, very heartwarming as well.
He cried.
I didn't cry.
I know.
I just got.
He cried like a pussy.
I'm emotional. I'm an emotional person, and when things touch me in a certain way, not like in the way that friggin' CJ from Vapor Trail kept touching me.
What?
CJ from Vapor Trail. I love CJ from Vapor Trail up there in the great state of New York, or the state of New York. The second night, he kept putting his finger near my butthole. And that's gross. I don't even want to say it, but he kept sneaking up behind me and like poking me in the butt. Sometimes just on the cheek, but he'd poke me, and I'd turn around and I wouldn't see him, and I'd be like, "Who the hell did that?" And then I turned out the whole time it was CJ from Vapor Trail. Vapor World Order, represent. What?
You yell at me when I try that.
I know, but I'm not usually drinking.
I mean, no, don't get the wrong idea, people. Just joking around.
Try
in the
it.
kitchen, try that.
So I'm going to move forward real quick and talk about some of the stuff that I got at VapeBash. Do you want to hang out for this, Jam, or do you not want to hang out for this?
What?
I'm going to talk about some of the items that I got at VapeBash. Do you want to... It's Masteller Mint.
That's delicious.
I know it's delicious. Do you want to stay while I talk about devices, or is your time here done?
Well, Bridget Jones is waiting on me.
You got Bridget Jones' Diary to watch?
Oh, God. Sorry. Choked on my own spit again.
Every time.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll just leave you to it.
Okay, honey.
So, I'll leave you.
Okay.
Okay, well.
That's not yours.
You sure?
That's mine.
Okay, well. I don't trust you.
I like doing that. I don't know why I like doing that. Have you noticed that?
That's a stupid drip tip.
picked up-
Where's that from?
Grand Vapor Station.
No offense.
I like it. I like that drip tip.
It makes me feel like I need to be pouring small amounts of things into something else.
Okay, honey. I love you. Will you shut the door on your way out?
Yeah.
To take a page from Russell Wishtart's book, there she goes, everybody. The Jam.
See y'all.
I call you Jam, and your Twitter name or your Instagram is A Green Johnson.
Yeah, can we talk about that real fast?
So you're Jam A Green
Nothing
Johnson.
against nobody. Y'all quit calling me Jam.
She gets mad. She doesn't get mad. She just wonders, because I call her Jam. That's like my pet name for her. I haven't called her Amber to her face in years. I call her Jam. And she thinks it's weird that other people have jumped on the bandwagon and called her Jam, even though this segment is called Jam Attack.
I don't care.
I'm
just letting y'all know it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Y'all can call me Amber.
It's not acceptable.
Super hot sexy mama.
Super hot sexy mama, huh?
Also, nobody is to refer to you as Duck.
No one would call me Duck. Nobody even calls me Nick. Nobody calls me anything. They call me Grim.
Good. I'm just making sure people stay in their lane, you know?
Stay in their lane. Thanks, honey.
Okay, well, I'll be seeing you.
I love you.
I love you more, chicken finger.
So I did actually get some pretty cool stuff at VapeBash, and I hope I have time to talk about all of this. I didn't have much time to shop. In fact, my time to shop was 0. The couple things that I did buy, I bought beforehand. I bought this drip tip, and I'm going to be that guy and try to focus it. Oh God, why do I do this? Why do I try to do this? Can you see this? It's not even really worth it. Oh, see, look at this fancy drip tip I bought. It's an acrylic tip with a stainless steel hole that goes through the middle, but that came from Just the Tip, and I will post a link to them in the description. These drip tips, pardon me, are not cheap. They're rather expensive. I think we paid $25 for one drip tip, and I think they even have more expensive ones on the site, but it is quite comfortable, and I thought it just looked pretty cool and fancy. I got it here on the K-Fun, on the Vapor Giant. An acrylic drip tip is very comfortable in your mouth. And this K-Fun is performing really well because of the other thing that I was gifted at VapeBash. And someone was wondering about these. So they're labeled on the back. These are for building dual coils on your K-Funs. And I'm going to have to zoom in again a little bit. But it's 2 prongs. Do you see that? And they actually do separate a little bit. Right? So you can hold them open like this. And the idea is you take the same sized one and you build 2 separate coils on this one, and then you can slide each coil onto here. So this will hold your 2 coils together, and the only thing this accomplishes is it makes it easy. So with one hand you can hold 2 coils over your K-Fun deck, and you can twist the ends, wrap it on the screw post, and screw it down. And so what I did is I built a 0.8 ohm dual coil on here using 29 gauge Kanthal. This is my first experience with a dual coil in a K-Fun. It's pretty nice. It kind of feels a lot like just a really good micro coil, but it's I felt like I had accomplished something. I'm like, I have a dual coil K-Fun. Do you? And it vapes good. For those listening on SoundCloud, I'm just taking a couple toots. Performing really well. So yeah, those got gifted to me. If you are the one that did this, then please comment below or message me and let me know. I want to say your name was Jeff or John or Jake or something with a J. Am I way off here? I am a terrible person. I can't remember people's names, and I'm thankful at VapeBash that everybody wears a damn name tag so that I know who you are. I walked up to Phil Basardo and I was like, oh yeah, do you know where the bathrooms are? And I was like, oh, Phil. Oh, you're Phil Basardo. Now I recognize you. Everybody needs to wear name tags all the time in life. So I got those. So people were wondering, yes, you just build 2 coils on here. 1 coil, take it off. 2nd coil, take it off. You put them both onto this little dually post, and it holds them nice and tight together without touching, and you can position them with one hand over your deck, and you can just attach them, and you can get a very, very effortless dual coil on your K-Fun. What else? The other thing I got that was gifted to me as well, and I'm going to drip some more juice in this so I can take some more toots on this, is a Joe Litt, who makes the NES mods. He was upgrading people's mods there. If you brought your NES mod, he would upgrade it to a DNA 30 with a bigger battery on the inside, and of course I forgot mine. But he did have this prototype. Looks like a big bar of soap, doesn't it? He has this prototype. It says lit up custom mods on it. 3D printed prototype, right? This is my first experience even touching something that's 3D printed. Feels very nice. Feels very solid. 26,650 and a DNA 30 on the inside. Looks like he has a little bit of extra room to spare. It's kind of a big clunky mod, but I rocked this for at least a full day, at least a full 24 hours, and it was really nice. I mean, it's a DNA 30, so it's going to perform like a DNA 30 will. And what you're looking for when you're trying to decide on a DNA 30 mod is size, form, fit, and finish, because the performance is going to be the same. The battery life might vary, but as long as it has that DNA 30 in there, it's going to perform like a DNA 30 should. This is that 2.6 ohm coil. I have this cranked way too high. It's 16.5 watts. I guess that's fine. 6.6 volts, and it's great. It has a soft button on it. And it lights up. Lighty up button is the best thing ever. Soft, squishy, lighty up button, DNA 30. This is not very pocket friendly. When I had this at VapeBash, I was only walking around with just this because I literally couldn't carry anything else. I did limit myself to 3 mods though. I took my Duke, which it's the Duke. I took the Dark Star from Grateful Vapor, and I took my Silver Bullet M, and that was it. And it was great. Another thing that got handed off to me, as well as Mr. Phil Basardo, he posted a picture on his Facebook earlier today. It is this mod, and as soon as I'm done dripping, I will show it to you. It's called the Rad X1, which is a silly name. Can you see the name? Radix. Radix or Radix, I'm not really sure. But that's it right there. Rad X1. You can see it's kind of sparkly. It looks like space. It's like space without the stars. It's like space. Look at this clicky. Oh, clicky. Do you hear the click? Clicky button. Clicky buttons to adjust your wattage up and down on your DNA 30 on the inside, and as I drip juice all over my all over my keyboard out of the Castle, because the Castle has those giant holes on the side. I also got this drip tip from Cisco. It's a wide drip tip. It actually has, it's an airflow adjustment drip tip, which is kind of cool. I'm interested to try it out, but yeah, so this arrived. Nice form, nice fit and finish, nice graphics on the side. It's made by Carbon Method. It's all sparkly. It's got a clicky button. It's small. I mean, it's smaller than an MVP. It's bigger than a Vapor Shark, but it's smaller than an MVP. And again, it's DNA 30. And I believe I'm pushing this DNA 30 to its absolute limits. Let's just go up to 30 watts. For no reason other than I can. 0.5 ohm coil, dual coil, 30 watts. It's giving me 4.3 volts of deliciousness. And the juice that I have on the inside, quite delicious as well. And while it's not a Namberjuice, which again, 90% of the time I'm vaping Namberjuice because we make what I like to vape, this is classified, okay? It's not classified in that I can't tell you about it. It's classified in that's the name of the juice. Ben handed me off a little baggie of liquid, and the first ones I was most excited about trying when I got home were these classified liquids, because I follow them on Instagram, and I always think they have such cool looking labels. And it's so silly how marketing worked on me, but the cool label won me over. Like, I wanted to try this one first. It's very classy, so it's classified. It's got a green cap on it. This one is the Crisp which is a green apple watermelon. To me, it just tastes like pear, so I don't understand that. Yes. So we talked about just the drip tips, the Radix version 1, the other stuff I got, the 3D printed mod. There was another one, the Viking. Where's the Viking? Where are you, Viking? Yes. And it was Autumn, I believe, that handed this off to me. So yeah, she works at. I have it here. The Vapor Shop in Illinois, Manchester Park. I'll put a link to it in the description. But they make a DNA 30 tube mod called the Viking, and this is number 13. And I do believe I have a battery in here. Do I not? Oh, yep, nope, no battery. Let's grab a battery. Let's grab a battery here, folks. What are we doing tonight, kids? I don't know why I tried to sound like Beetlejuice there, but yeah, again, it's a DNA 30 on the inside, and it's a stainless steel tube mod. It's very hefty, and it's got these flat kind of finished buttons on the back for adjusting your wattage up and down, and then a small little non-clicky, very easy to press fire button on the back. It's got these ridges on it. You can take the top cap off, you can take the bottom cap off, you can separate the control head from the battery as well. Obviously, all these products, with the exception of the 3D printed mod, I will have a full video for, obviously included in a vlog later down the road. But yeah, so that I also happened to pick up at VapeBash. It's called the Viking, and there is a little tiny Viking on it. And the best part is this Viking graphic, even though it's laser etched in there, it does not have the horrible chalkboardy texture to it, which just makes me so happy. So yes, we've covered beer. We've covered the amazing Namberjuice crew. We covered Mass Tellermint and Mission to Mars. We talked a little bit about the drama. Last thing I want to talk about regarding VapeBash, I did get to hang out with Russ again, and I got to meet for the first time the vape girl, Miss Janae, who is just wonderful. I don't know why anybody is hating on her. She has interesting videos, and she is just a joy to be around. She cracks me up constantly. I mean, she is great. I think she's a great person, and everyone should subscribe to her for some interesting videos. And I got to meet her for the first time. I got to hang out with Russ again, and I'm a little bit of a Russ fanboy. I love the ClickBang podcast so much that it makes me happy to see Russ and to talk to Russ again. And I wore my ClickBang shirt the first night with the hopes of seeing Russ there the first night, and I did, and it was great, and we had a little moment, and it was fun. So the last thing I want to talk about regarding VapeBash is there's a guy who was on the Windy City Vapors Club. I am getting really hot. I need to take this hoodie off. All these lights freaking me out, man. Oh, my belly doesn't show. And there's some pictures. There's some pictures on Facebook that make me look really chubby. And I mean, I got the man boobs going on, but they make me look so much chubbier than I am. I don't look like that in real life, I don't think. I've been going to the gym. I can bench like 180. What? Say something. But anyway, there was one last thing. Peter, who is a member of the Windy City Vapors Club, at the very, very, very first Vape Bash, he was telling me about his daughter, who was 8 years old at the time. And he watched a lot of my videos, and so by default, she ended up kind of watching my videos and knowing of who I am. And when he was coming to Vape Bash, she knew that I would be there, and so she was such a fan that he took me aside at the very first Vape Bash and said, "Hey, this is going to sound really dumb, but my daughter, she's 8 years old. She really loves you. Can you record just a little video message for her?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why would I not do that?" And so we got out his little flip camera, and I said, "Hey, Victoria, I'm hanging out with your dad here at VapeBash, and we're having a really great time. And he'll be home soon," something like that. And so the next year at VapeBash, she recorded a video for Amber and I. And so Amber and I recorded a video for her back, right? And we're like, "Hey, we're hanging out with your dad again at VapeBash. It's Nick and Amber. We love you so much," and this, that, and the other. And so this year at VapeBash, she had traveled there with her mom and dad, and her dad is Peter, who's a member of the Windy City Vapors Club. And she wasn't at the meet or anything. Don't get any weird ideas. She wasn't hanging out in the vapor room. She wasn't hanging out with vapors. She was simply at the hotel with her mom in the hotel room. And so on the last night, Peter took me aside again, and he said, "Hey, I know this is a little weird, but my daughter Victoria, who loves you so much, is here. Would you mind coming out into the lobby and just saying hello? She'd really like to meet you and take a picture." And I was like, oh, like my heart just melted, because it's like I feel like I knew this little girl because we had sent these videos back and forth, and because her dad watched my videos and is not smoking anymore. And that's the reason why she's such a fan. And my heart just melted. I was like, yes, of course I will do that. And so sure enough, it was late on the last night, and I see this little 11-year-old girl wearing a purple dress, and that's Victoria, and she comes running up and she gives me a hug, and we took some pictures, and I said hi, and it was really great. And that was a really great memory I have of VapeBash is meeting this little girl whose dad I helped get off cigarettes, who, he's not, like a big fanboy of me, but we've kind of become, decent friends over the last couple years, and getting to meet his daughter was just, it was just great. So I loved meeting Victoria. Victoria, if you're watching this, hello. I loved meeting you. Thank you for coming down and saying hello to me. I'm going to attempt to wrap this up as best I can right now. Unfortunately, we're an hour in, and I have some bad news to end it on. I'm not going to do any viewer mail, but what I am going to do is talk about something that someone brought to my attention at VapeBash, so it's kind of VapeBash related, demented and sad, but social. Did I mention that I also watched The Breakfast Club on the way home? Someone brought this to my attention at VapeBash, and unfortunately Illinois is going to take a page out of New York State's book, and they are going to ban the sale of e-liquid or electronic cigarettes until the Illinois Department of Health establishes packaging standards. Now, this is bad on two levels. Not only are they going to ban the sale of e-liquid and electronic cigarettes in the state of Illinois, which is bad enough, but the state of Illinois wants their own packaging. They don't want any sort of standardized nationwide packaging, which, sure, Robin, that's probably going to happen anyway. So these fancy bottles like this classified, that goes away, and we get a bottle with the name of the juice, a fuck ton of warnings, and then a barcode, and then an FDA blurb on there as well. These neat graphics on the bottles, these are going away. I mean, they will go away. See this cool minimal Slenderman bottle? It's not going to look anything like that when the federal government finally steps in. But they want their own packaging standards, which you kind of go, if the own state has their packaging standards, that means that every e-liquid vendor, every brick and mortar store in Illinois, if there's a brick and mortar store in Illinois that carries Namberjuice, which there is, that means we as a company have to make a separate label and package for that market, which hurts us. And if we say, well, we just can't do that, now we can't sell to any stores in Illinois, so they will lose product, and in turn will not have enough on the shelves, and in turn it's a snowballing effect. We don't want states to establish their own packaging standards. We want a packaging standard that we can sell in all 50 states and the UK, and well, maybe different in the UK. But we don't want each state having its own packaging standard. So if this bill passes, they're going to ban sales until those packaging standards come in, at which point it's going to make it very, very hard for brick and mortar stores to run and operate. Additionally, it's going to be hard for liquid suppliers like myself to create special packaging just for the one state market. So Illinois vapors, get on it. I'll post a link to this in the description to the video. I hate to end on such a down note, but it is what it is. You can go to VapeBash and have a great time with your friends and just vape up a storm and think there's not a care in the world, but the reality is, yes, state, local, and federal governments want to make it very, very difficult for you to quit smoking, for you to stop using tobacco, and for you to continue vaping. That's just what they want. They also want money. Oh, here we can end on an up note. So I'm a huge Guar fan. Huge Guar fan. Everybody knows I'm a Guar fan. And you know what? I'm going to try to find this email. I believe his name was Michael. Michael, what are they feeding you? I can't remember your name, Mike. I think his name was Michael. Yeah, Michael at Mountain Baker Vapor. Yes, Michael. I knew his name was Michael. He works for Mountain Baker Vapor, and they kind of sponsor Beefcake the Mighty, who is in Guar and also a vapor. So awesome! Someday I hope to meet you. And they did a small run of Guar themed liquids, the Guar fluids, and this one is called Gizmo Goblin. Has the Mountain Baker Vapor logo. It also has, anybody? Can you name this? Can you name this guy? Can ya? No? You know who that is? If you can name him, I'll give you nothing. Can you name that? Let's see if there's anybody else who's recognizable on here. No, that's just the Guar logo. No, that's just a spiky. No, that's okay. That's just a Guar logo. So there's no other characters on the bottle except for this. And if you know who that is, then you will be my best friends. Guar fans won't even need to think about it. They'll go, "Oh, that's so and so." But yeah, so Mountain Baker Vapor, they knew that I was a huge Guar fan, and they do have this Guar line of juices. So they sent them out to me for no charge. They all smell fantastic. I'm not sure that I'll actually vape them. I mean, I want to vape them, but I like the way the full bottles look. I kind of want to keep this as a bit of an homage to Guar, and as a bit of a homage to Mr. Dave Brocky, who passed away recently. But thank you so much, Mountain Baker Vapor, for sending me these juices, and I will treasure them honestly because they're Guar fluids, and this one's called Bloodbath Spew. See, Spew smells the best to me, and this isn't a juice review. It smells like there's green apple in this. Yeah, I think that's some green apple going on in there. Regardless, thank you, Mountain Baker Vapor. Thank you. As far as the vlog, we're going to wrap this up because it's run way too long. In closing, I had a wonderful time at VapeBash. I couldn't be more blessed to work with a better crew, to meet better people, to make better friends. I mean, it was just a whole experience. And I think it was fantastic. And if... once again, if you came up, you took the time out of your day to come say hi to me, I truly appreciate that. And I want to thank everyone for the kind words and even the not so kind words over the course of the weekend. And this one's for you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, which mod? Gotta go with the Duke. I always just gotta go with the Duke. Let's keep on vaping. Well, it doesn't get much better than that. I also like to inhale like that sometimes, like exhale, like do that face and blow it at the brim of my bill. I don't know why I do that. Well, that one didn't work at all. I don't know why I like to do that. It's because I'm an idiot, and that's why I do anything. All right. Easter egg. # GrimmGreen's Easter egg.